CTV News with Jack Morse.
A controversial monument covered up at Couchiching Beach Park, but not drawing any less attention. Thanks for joining us. The Samuel de Champlain statue returned to its former site in the park late yesterday afternoon. Within hours, it was vandalized. By evening, it was tarped off and crews were sent in to put up fencing. It's a site that has drawn much controversy over the years. It's where we find CTV's Luke Simard tonight, live and really with more. Luke.
Well, Jack, the Samuel de Champlain monument has stood in Couchiching Park for more than 100 years, and yesterday it was returned to its original location, but not before it was vandalized. A 33-year-old woman is now facing charges, and while that statue was tarped and fenced off, well, by the city officials, now, of course, it is no longer on the fence on how the city's handling the situation.
There are several people congratulating. There's some who don't want it back. And
although covered, Samuel de Champlain statue in Couchiching Park has left its mark on the city of Orillia, and residents are questioning why it's back.
As you can see, he's been shrink wrapped, which absolutely looks shockingly bad. And this is storage of the Champlain monument, and we're going to have to look at it until who knows when a proper decision is taken. And I think it's a very cheeky decision that he's made.
While others are hoping the city can hash out their differences and the statue can peacefully rest where it has been since its inception in 1925.
It was an idea to bring the English-speaking residents, the French-speaking residents, and all the natives or indigenous together as one. It was meant to be a sign of friendship. According to the mayor, there were no storage costs for the statue, but it had specific requirements due to the weight. The easiest decision was to store it where it was originally placed. McIsaac said he was following council's discussions from previous meetings.
this Champlain statue was heavy, so rather than make a concrete base, we decided the existing plinth would be good, so we stored it and wrapped it, as you can see here, so here it is.
Council and community members were not made aware of the statue being placed until it was already installed, with one city councillor saying while they support the statue eventually having its place, now is not the time.
We have to learn from history. We don't have that educational context attached to this monument yet. I really believe that if we do the work, we can get there, but we're not there yet.
The Chippewas of Rama First Nation released a statement to CTV News and said they were surprised to learn through social media the monument had been returned and were not informed of the decision. The statement goes on to say Rama made it clear that they did not wish to reopen these discussions or relive the experiences that came with them. To have the monument returned in this manner without notice disregards not only Rama First Nation clearly stated position as the rights holder within the territory, but also the very real harm this process has caused to our people. Now, the expectation is that the statue will stay covered and tarped for the duration of the summer season. However, McIsaac does say that there is a petition going around to untarp it for the summer months. And of course, with a municipal election looming, it'll be up to the next term elected officials to determine the future of the statue. Jack?
All right, thank you, Luke. CTV's Luke Simard reporting live from Couchiching Beach Park in Orillia. Two people are facing charges after a years-long investigation into the death of a 4-month-old in Innisfil. Police say officers were called to a home on Algonquin Avenue in November 2024 for a medical emergency. The infant was taken to hospital in Barrie and later died at Sick Kids from its injuries sustained that day. Following a long investigation, search warrants were executed in Barrie this week. A 31-year-old man and 26-year-old woman, both from Barrie, were arrested. The man's name is Anthony Fasulo. This is him walking out of the Barrie courtroom this afternoon. He's been released from jail on conditions after a surety put up $5,000 for bail, the accused promising another $1,000 on top of that. Fasulo is under a curfew, banned from owning weapons, and not to be alone with a child or in a position to care for a child. Flames broke out at an encampment off Highway 400 in Barrie just after noon today. A viewer sent in this footage where you can see firefighters near Mapleview Drive. Officials say the fire spread slightly onto grass before being quickly brought under control. No one was found at the scene and no injuries have been reported. Barrie fire crews battled an overnight blaze in an abandoned home in the city's south end. Emergency crews were called to Lockhart Road between Bayview Drive and Welham Road just before 2 o'clock. The house had already collapsed by the time crews arrived. No injuries were reported in that fire either. Traffic was disrupted north of Barrie this morning after a crash involving a fuel tanker and a passenger bus on Highway 11. The bus driver was treated at the scene and taken to hospital, the Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre, with non-life-threatening injuries. The Ontario NDP is planning to introduce a motion aimed at making groceries more affordable for families in the province, announcing today they're prepared to propose removing HST on prepared foods like rotisserie chicken or sandwiches, as well as drinks in grocery stores. The NDP say it would save families hundreds of dollars depending on exactly what they buy.
If you're a working parent, you're coming home after a long day. Increasingly, people are working harder, longer days. They're going to pick up, maybe a little fried fish, some noodles, a few things to help make it a little easier when they get home to feed the family. This is what this is going to impact the most.
If this bill passes, we're going to see more competition. Leases will not allow grocers or other people selling food to prohibit anyone around them from selling food as well.
This is something the NDP will pick up when they return to the legislature Monday. The construction industry is facing a growing labor shortage as more skilled workers reach retirement age. Industry leaders say there's a strong demand for new tradespeople with plenty of well-paying jobs across the sector. Employers are now focusing on attracting the next generation of workers, young people and those looking to start a career in the trades.
The construction workforce is aging out by the thousands, and we were trying to encourage people to come into the trades. It's a very lucrative trade. There's lots of work. Whenever the economy turns down, the government helps by spending on infrastructure. So there's lots of work. If you just look up the Highway 400 with the bridges, this $30 billion project, there's work for your entire career in the construction fields.
Big crowds came out to the construction industry job fair last night, something the Barrie Construction Association says is a great help in educating job seekers about the trades. An apple grower in southern Georgian Bay took to the sky this morning to protect their blooming orchards from near freezing temperatures. As temperatures dropped near -3 just before sunrise, this helicopter was used for what's called front control at TK Frary Orchards. It uses a temperature inversion to push down warmer air to the ground and raise the surface temperatures above freezing, critical for the upcoming apple growing season. From the sky to the roads, let's head outside and take a live look at this evening's commute. Our CTV tower cam bringing us this shot of Highway 400 in Barrie. The weekend traffic is heading north, beginning to pick up as many ease into cottage and camping season. At this time, flow is moving through the Dunlop curve, the corridor, without any major slowdowns. Now down by Barrie's waterfront, there's a yearly tradition taking over Lakeshore this weekend. We're talking about the 21st annual Barrie Waterfront Festival, offering a little something for everyone. It kicks off tonight at Centennial Park and runs until Sunday. That is where we find our Casey Colby tonight. Case, are the crowds coming through yet?
Not where I am. No, they're not here just yet. Over my left shoulder is the 21st annual Barrie Waterfront Festival. Yes, Jack, as mentioned, we have music, we have entertainment, there is food trucks, there is a kids zone, there is a midway. Oh, there's all kinds of great things to enjoy this weekend. And starting this evening is when you can come on down and have a good time. Maybe even take a little walk by the waterfront too, which is really nice. Looking at Lake Simcoe and the waves are picking up, I might add. Let's talk about a first look at the forecast, and here we go. First look at the forecast, of course, brought to you by the graveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 17 degrees, Jack, that's what we're looking at outside our beautiful Barrie Studios, 33 Beacon Road. Winds out of the east, 19 kilometers an hour. They're picking up during the course of the evening, yes indeed. And temperature-wise, well, 21 degrees in the Sunshine City of Aurelia. It is indeed 20 in Gravenhurst, 20 in Parry Sound. Call it 15 in Toronto, 16 in Mount Forest, 17 in Alliston, and 16 degrees in beautiful Collingwood, Ontario. This is a look at the radar satellite images over the last little while. And cloud cover, yes. And is there a passing shower possible? Well, there is, but we don't really anticipate it happening here down at the waterfront. Coming up in just a few minutes' time as the big boats start roaring by us. Yes, the Barrie Waterfront Festival is on for you to enjoy, as is some very loud boats and people playing on the water. Coming up, what the weekend looks like and what Mother Nature plans to do with our temperatures next week. I think you'll enjoy. All that in a few minutes' time. Back inside, Jack.
All right, thanks, Casey. We'll pop in with you a little bit later. Now, military convoys will be moving across highways 104 and 400 this weekend as Toronto-based reservists head to training in Meaford. Members of 32 Canadian Brigade Group are taking part in an exercise, Trillium Venture, at Canadian Forces Base Meaford until Sunday. Officials say the training is confined to the base and no weapons are involved during the road movements. Drivers are being asked to use caution if you run across military vehicles on the highway. A Barrie woman who stole the identity of a nurse and worked in several seniors' homes across the region during the pandemic now finds herself back in jail, accused of breaching her sentence. CTV's Mike Arslidis reports on the new charges.
After escaping actual jail time in December, convicted con artist Haley Roberts is back behind bars, accused of breaching her conditional sentence. Roberts appeared in a virtual courtroom, also charged with criminal harassment and publishing intimate images without consent, all while serving her sentence for fraudulently posing as a nurse in long-term care homes over 4 years during the pandemic. She was handed a sentence of 18 months of house arrest, followed by 6 months of curfew, while ordered to wear a GPS ankle monitor after being convicted last June of 9 fraud and assault charges. Roberts, now 34, pleaded guilty to stealing a nurse's identity to work in seniors' homes while having no qualifications or training to do so. She admitted to using needles to administer medicine and vaccines to 58 patients in retirement homes in Elmvale, Midland, and Stayner during the height of the pandemic. According to those who know her, Roberts has faked brain cancer and fooled 2 men into thinking she was pregnant. A Barrie landlord told CTV News Roberts squatted in her home without paying a cent in rent. The South Barrie home, she said, was left a mess. Roberts was ordered by the court to live with her parents. Her lawyer, Mitch Eisen, previously told the court Roberts heroically stepped up to work in long-term care homes at a time when the beleaguered healthcare system was in desperate need of staff. Roberts was arrested yesterday by Southern Georgian Bay OPP and remains in custody. Roberts is due back before a judge in a Barrie courtroom Monday. The allegations against her have not been tested in court. Mike Arslidis, CTV News, Barrie.
W5 has obtained exclusive data that shows thousands of people who work in Canadian airports have been granted security clearances despite being flagged for potential risks. CTV's Avery Haynes has that story.
This happened inside Canada's busiest airport. Tens of millions of dollars in gold and currency is just loaded onto a truck and driven away. An audacious heist that police say relied on airport insiders. 2 Air Canada employees are among the 9 people accused in the 2023 heist. We've learned that one of them, Parmpal Sidhu, was flagged in 3 separate drug investigations at the airport dating back decades. We got our hands on a sensitive intelligence document that accuses Sidhu of being the leader of an international drug trafficking ring, moving large loads of drugs through Pearson Airport and infiltrating legitimate government organizations for the purpose of carrying out their criminal activities. Now, that was in 2012. We don't know if that information was ever shared with his employer, but we do know that Sidhu kept his job and his security clearance right up until the gold heist in 2023.
Our job is to identify those potential corrupt employees that are enabling organized crime groups.
Ulysses Botello is a retired RCMP officer. Now he's a whistleblower. It was his job to warn Transport Canada about airport employees who should have their security clearances revoked. He says his recommendations were repeatedly ignored.
If you want to associate with organized crime, if you want to engage in illicit activity, you can do many other things without having that restricted airside card.
Are you telling me that you have actually flagged employees who have connections to organized crime to Transport Canada and they have maintained their past security?
It happens.
It happens is a very concerning answer.
Of course it is.
We collected exclusive data from Transport Canada showing 125,000 security clearances were approved at Canada's 4 major airports over a 5-year period. A staggering 7,500 employees were flagged as having some kind of security issue, but were given clearance anyway.
The numbers that are being presented to Transport Canada that are of concern versus the numbers that are being allowed to retain the restricted airside cards are concerning to me.
Botello says he's also concerned that he never could find out how many were high-threat employees.
Nobody can give me a straight answer as to how many of those numbers were mission critical. In other words, enablers of organized crime. I couldn't get that information.
Despite repeated requests, Transport Canada would not categorize the level of threat of those granted security passes. In a statement, they write, adverse information does not automatically equate to a transportation security risk. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Toronto.
Now, coming up a little later in the newscast, we'll be speaking with Avery Haynes about her investigation into the country's airports, and that could change how you travel. Stay tuned for that. The summer concert series at Rogers Stadium is set to begin tomorrow. The CTV News chopper was over the venue in North York this morning, where crews are setting up for the first of 5 shows by Bruno Mars. With rain in the forecast, Live Nation is reminding people to dress appropriately. Shows will go on rain or shine. And just announced, people heading to Rogers Stadium for a show this summer are being urged to take transit. Ticket holders get free TTC rides after each concert. However, getting to Rogers Stadium may be difficult if you're planning on taking the GO train. There will be no service at Downsview Park on the Barrie line this weekend, and on May 30th, Metrolinx says the track's being shut down for expansion work. The countdown is on to this year's Troubadour Festival Summer Concert Series presented by Paul Sadlin Motors. The series kicks off with the Road Hammers on Monday. The local openers will be revealed. The announcement's happening at Donnelly's Irish Public House in downtown Barrie, where the winners of the local opener contest will be named. CTV's Sarah Freemark and Pure Country 106's Jason McCoy will reveal which local artists will take the stage on June 6th. Still to come, the power and beauty of life. It's something this local filmmaker shares, from the power and beauty of a vintage muscle car. Plus, a Severn Bridge community helping to bring comfort to children facing medical treatments, one stitch at a time. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here. Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. Road Hammers, got the Watchmen, Bahamas, going to be great.
Thanks for sticking with us. The arts took center stage today in Midhurst as students came together for the first ever Simcoe County District School Board Festival of the Arts.
There are about 13 schools involved today and almost 300 students, and we are very impressed to see the different activities happening throughout the day.
The one-day event featured live music, dance, drama, and colorful student art displays inside and outside the Education Center. Both elementary and secondary students showcased their talents, while families and community members cheered them on.
I love she comes to me and shows me pictures and say, Mrs. Unwin, this is what I'm working on. What do I do with this guy? Give me some feedback. And she's really, really, really grown as an artist.
The arts are so important because it's a foundation for education. I really feel as though students really derive a lot of self-identity and confidence through what they do through the arts, which kind of segues to all different types of success throughout the curriculum.
I hope that everyone is leaving here feeling inspired and happy and just overall excited that they got to be a part of this.
Organizers also say that it was a fun new way to bring together students and staff from schools across the region, and they hope to bring the event back again next year. Volunteers are hard at work today sewing together special pieces for kids.
We thought it would be a great way to spend a day together and helping other people as well.
The two-day event at the Lake St. George Community Center in Severn Bridge is bringing people together to create handmade pillowcases. Kids facing medical treatments. They're called comfy cases, and they're made in fabric that cater to the kids' interests so they can have something personal with them throughout their healing journey.
Many years ago, a young boy that he had bone cancer, and his mom started making pillowcases because he kept saying, I don't know if anybody's puked on this, the hospital ones, and they're so hard and rough. So she started sending him for treatments with pillowcases. And then the kids were all saying, I want one, I want one.
They're going to mostly children, different age groups who are going through difficult medical procedures, and they can get a nice new pillowcase that's fun and colorful and maybe reflects a bit of their personality.
Organizers say you don't need sewing skills to help out, with volunteers cutting fabric, ironing, and prepping kits. The event continues tomorrow, with organizers saying every stitch and every helping hand makes a big difference. Happiness is not just a film about a powerful, fast muscle car. It's also about a journey through life with more twists and turns than this legendary hot rod has ever made.
This hard copy photograph became a starting point for me.
Soldier, father, police officer, musician, actor, and filmmaker, Jason Fire takes us on a journey back in time, discovering the history and life-changing impact of his classic 1969 Plymouth Road Runner has had on people and the lives they've led.
Happiness is individual. Your version of happiness might be different than mine. So I think what the viewer will take from it, it will cause some self-reflection and for them to take a look around and decide for themselves, what is happiness?
I want you to say hello to your old friend.
Yeah, I know.
This is your white Road Runner. This is your white car.
Oh. Oh.
You can find more information to watch Happiness Is by visiting our website. That's also where you can find more information on all our local events, along with other local stories, and watch our news live. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen now. Still to come, a classroom assignment that started with a simple idea, turned into a custom shirt, and now a big donation to a local school. But first, let's check in with KC over at Centennial Beach.
That's right, Jack, and you know, Mother Nature's going to throw a bit of a monkey wrench into the weekend forecast, and as luck would have it, here at the Barrie Waterfront Festival, Monkey Wrench the band, the Foo Fighters tribute band, takes to the stage at 8:30 this evening. Come on down and enjoy indeed our weather watcher artiste. Have a look. Ainsley says spring means new life and new baby birds hatching from those eggs in the trees. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And next week on the show, the Bounce Boarding Call continues.
Yes, it's your chance to win a $4,000 travel voucher and $1,000 spending money.
So tune in 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Thank you to everyone who showed us your May flowers. Next week, we want to see you enjoying some spring sports. Golf, soccer, maybe an early dip in the pool. Snap a pic and send it to Picture This at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, Casey, we know the fair is going on this weekend in downtown Barrie, but is the weather going to cooperate? That's what we need to know.
Sorry, we're having a little transmission trouble, Jack. I didn't hear exactly what you said, but yes, we are down here at the waterfront. Behind me, of course, beautiful Lake Simcoe, and the winds are picking up, and the water is becoming a little choppy. The Waterfront Festival, of course, going on in the park, and yeah, when you look at the band playing this evening, Monkey Wrench, that's pretty much it as far as the forecast goes for what Mother Nature has in store for us. Let's continue on with a look at the forecast, starting with the temperature outside your door and dive into it. Still double digits. As a matter of fact, looks like the hot spot, 20 degrees in Parry Sound, 20 degrees in Gravenhurst, 21 degrees is the hot spot, Sunshine City of Aurelia. Looks like 16 in Mount Forest, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is the almanac for today. 16 and 3, that's the high, that's the low. 21 and 7 is normally where we should be. A long way. 1911. 31.1 for record heat and record cool, minus 1.7 back in 1907. Sun rises tomorrow, 5:43, and we'll see it come up. We will. Sets at 8:47. Not so sure you'll see that behind the clouds. 15 hours and 4 minutes of daylight. This is the forecast radar, and this is the Monkey Wrench that I'm speaking to, not the band that's on stage at 8:30 at the Waterfront Festival, but the one that everyone's not entirely happy about here or just about everywhere else. Boy, it seems like we've had a lot of rain, but more cloud cover than really rain, because we really haven't had the normal amount of rainfall that we would have for this month so far. This is southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight, well, there's a few clouds. Yes, there is. There are clearing skies, though, too. Just a few clouds, in Sound area. We're anticipating clearing skies overnight. Everywhere else, 7, 10, 11 degrees. Tomorrow, 14 and 15. And, well, it starts off mainly cloudy because it gets clear, and then the clouds come back in overnight. And then the rain, 10 to 20 millimeters of rainfall, and a change in wind direction, 40 to 60 k out of the southeast. That should be a warmer wind than what we've been experiencing over the last few days. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, we're looking at 10, 11 degrees, a few clouds for this evening to look forward to. 12 and 13 for tomorrow. We're not really going very far as the temperatures go. And the rain into the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies to start. Rain into the afternoon, 10 to 20 millimeters of rainfall expected. To Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Haliburton, clear skies overnight. Yes, clear, I say. And then for tomorrow, well, the clouds roll in during the course of the day, 16, 17 degrees, and we're looking at 10 to 15 millimeters of rainfall into the evening, maybe a little bit more in the Haliburton region. And again, the winds out of the southeast, 40 to 60 k. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast as we finish off the weekend. We're looking at the 5-day right now for Simcoe County. Cloudy skies and a 40% chance of shower activity. Well, it is the Waterfront Festival. We're certainly getting a lot of water for the Waterfront Festival. Monday arrives, cloudy skies remain, slight chance of showers, but look at the temperature, 19 degrees. Tuesday, lo and behold, there's the sunshine, 21, 26. On Wednesday, and nothing but sunshine according to Environment Canada. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region. Sunday, looking like cloudy, 40% chance of shower activity, 19 degrees. Climbing to 22 on Monday, clouds stick around, slight chance of a passing shower. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday, Wednesday, bit of a mini sun run, apparently. 24, 25 degrees is what we have to look forward to. To Muskoka, Parry Sound, Haliburton to have a look. And when we do, we find out that cloudy skies for the weekend rule across our region. 60% chance of showers, 14 on Sunday. Monday arrives, still cloud cover, 40% chance of a shower, 19. We're climbing in temperature. Tuesday, sun cloud. We're anticipating that 30% chance of a shower first thing in the morning, incidentally. And then sun and cloud, 21, and nothing but sunshine. I think the same thing. Sunny skies come Wednesday and 24 degrees. That is the 5-day extended forecast on land. Now let's take you on the water. And this, ladies and gentlemen, Marine Report is brought to you by our friends at Suzuki Marine. We're going to go North Lake Huron and South Lake Huron, and ladies and gentlemen, 15 to 20 knots wind speeds picking up this evening into tomorrow. They're out of the east, southeast out of South Lake Huron, and the waves, well, we're looking at anywhere from 1/2 today to 1.5 tomorrow. And just so you know, there is a strong wind warning. We'll see if that carries over to Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe, and indeed it does. Strong wind warning for Georgian Bay and Lake Simcoe. Wind speeds 10 to 20 knots out of the south east for Georgian Bay, and a little stronger for Lake Simcoe, 10 to 25 knots out of the southeast. Waves 1 to 1.5 in height, and again, there is a strong wind warning. We are down here at the Barrie Waterfront, Centennial Beach. There is, of course, the Barrie Waterfront Festival going on. People taking a little walk down here. Not many people, as we're seeing right now. Okay, I'm by myself down here, Jack. I need some friends. That's the forecast as far as cloudy skies and a good chance of showers. Maybe it was sunny, I'd have more friends, Jack. What do you think?
I think anything's possible, KC. Now, a few months ago, we told you about a young artist from a local elementary school who turned his creative idea into reality.
I was joking around with my friend Dylan, and I thought people like cowboys and people like fish, and that's how I got the idea of anglefish wearing a cowboy hat, and then I wrote it to Giant Tiger on the computer.
That's grade 4 student Tristan, who came up with the idea for a t-shirt featuring the design of an angelfish wearing a cowboy hat. He shared his idea in a letter sent to his local Giant Tiger store in Barrie's North End, and now, well, they're reaping the rewards of his success. The shirts were sold with the proceeds going back to the school, and this week store manager Jamal stopped by to present a check for more than $1,600. Midland and Elmvale turned Big Macs into big impacts for this year's McHappy Day. In the first year's owners of these restaurants, George and Maria Khalil, helped raise $40,000. The money goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities to help buy new maternal monitoring equipment at Georgian Bay General Hospital. With just 3 weeks to go until the World Cup, the hardware finally arrived today, landing in Montreal to the delight of soccer fans. CTV's Matt Gilmore was there to catch a golden glimpse.
Alessandro Nesta lifts the World Cup trophy 20 years after he won it with Italy.
Oh, it's a beautiful trophy. When you have in your hand, because you did something very good.
The teams will soon begin their pre-tournament preparations. And Nesta says there's no better feeling than winning for your country.
In the first 3 hours, you don't understand nothing. But after 1 week, you start to understand what you did. And when you arrive in your country, you understand how many people are happy for what you did. This is the most important thing.
The buzz is already starting to build, with fans in jerseys from all over the world getting into the festivities.
It's truly a one-of-a-kind experience that you really get to embrace the culture of everyone. You know, we get to support our country. We get to watch other people support their country.
Jeez. Today, Montreal soccer fans got a chance to see and take pictures with the trophy as it stops along its tour through the host nations.
You know, you always watch it on TV and you're like, see it from afar, but now being so close to it, it's actually great.
This is my dream, you know. We're going for the 4th one. And we're going to have a nice World Cup this year.
It's an experience that's about to take over the nation.
For me, come people from everywhere, the attention, everybody watch the games. And when you organize a World Cup, it's a huge responsibility, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to grow everything.
With just 3 weeks until the World Cup officially kicks off, the trophy is here on Canadian soil, so are the fans, and anticipation is building for the biggest sporting event in the world. Matt Gilmore, CTV News, Montreal.
After the break, a W5 investigation into how passengers are unknowingly helping traffickers move drugs through Canadian airports. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories, a 33-year-old woman has been charged after spray painting the reinstalled statue of Samuel de Champlain. It's wrapped in a tarp and fenced off in Couchiching Beach Park, but has sparked protests. The mayor of Orillia says it's the only place suited to bear the statue's weight. 34-year-old Haley Roberts is back in jail, accused of breaching her sentence. She's convicted of stealing a nurse's identity and fraudulently working in long-term care homes. She's now charged with criminal harassment and publishing intimate images without consent. 31-year-old Anthony Facillo of Barrie has been charged with manslaughter in the death of an infant 2 years ago when police found a 4-month-old without vital signs at a medical call in Innisfil in November 2024. 2 days later, that child died. You might soon be rethinking the way you travel. A disturbing discovery reveals passengers are unknowingly helping traffickers move drugs through Canadian airports.
It's a relatively simple expectation that my luggage, as I hand it over, arrives at the point of destination without any problems. Also that it's not linked to any crime.
A new W5 investigation is exposing how massive quantities of illegal substances are being shipped around the world using a simple luggage tag, which could be yours. W5's Avery Haynes is here now to talk about how organized crime is infiltrating airports. Thank you for joining us, Avery.
Thank you.
So you've gathered the first public data on bag tag switching. What does it reveal about how often it's happening and how the scheme actually works?
Well, the person that you just played a clip of is a man named Yan, who is one of 17 Canadians who were accused wrongly of smuggling drugs because a corrupt airport employee had taken the bag tag off his luggage and put it onto a bag of drugs. We've seen that there have been Canadians detained in countries around the world, including in the Dominican Republic, for months trying to clear their name.
So you've spoken with security whistleblowers. What are they saying about the scope of organized crime at Canadian airports?
So we know from the whistleblowers, from court documents, from intelligence reports that we have seen, that there is organized crime activity at Pearson Airport, Hells Angels, Asian crime groups, the mafia, cartels, paying off corrupt workers in order to facilitate the movement of drugs, both that are coming in from other countries as well as in cases of bag tag switching.
So how does this happen? How does a member of an organized crime group get to a person in an airport, make that connection to get them to do their bidding on this?
This has been going on for years. We have looked at the security clearances that are given to employees who work at Canadian airports, and we have seen that for years they've been the subject of investigations by the RCMP for drug smuggling, for connections to organized crime, and yet still they're getting their airport passes.
So are there any particular destinations where this is more likely or less likely to happen?
It's most likely to happen at Toronto's Pearson Airport. It is Canada's largest airport, but of the 17 cases that we saw, the 16 originated there.
Okay. What kind of solutions are being proposed to address these issues?
Well, so the security experts and whistleblowers that we've spoken to said that there needs to be an overhaul, that we have to start thinking about the same kind of reckoning that passengers went through after 9/11 with security changing enormously for us. That needs to now happen for the airport staff. So things like body cameras if you're working with luggage and with planes. Really changing the way that the screening is done for who gets access cards and who doesn't, who's working at airports, as well as changing the requirements, security requirements for people who are on the job. We spoke to a ramp worker who is at Pearson Airport. He says they have a joke at Pearson that you could walk out carrying a cruise missile and no one would stop you. And CATSA, the organization that's responsible for screening of passengers and employees, says as well that they don't have a mandate to screen employees as they leave work. And we know that drugs are coming in on planes and they're making it from the plane to the parking lot.
So what can travelers, regular people, do to protect themselves when they're handing their luggage over for check-in?
I think that's what's sort of infuriated most people, is that we have assumed that when we hand our luggage over, the worst that's going to happen is it's going to get lost somewhere en route, not that someone's going to change the tag. The only thing, until there's an overhaul of the safety system when it comes to employees, the only thing that you can really do is gather the evidence to prove that what your bag looks like before you fly, and that would mean taking a photograph or a video of you with your bag tag and your bag at the airport, preferably as it's being weighed, so you can show the weight of your bag as well. In the event that this does happen to you, you could show that video to say, look, that bag of drugs isn't mine. This is the bag that I came with.
Okay, thank you, Avery. We've been speaking with W5's investigative correspondent and managing editor, Avery Haynes. CTV News Investigative Unit W5 returns with a 1-hour special, Traffic, the Airport Conspiracy, airing on Saturday at 7 p.m. on CTV Crave and live streamed on W5's official YouTube channel. There's some relief at the pumps for drivers to kick off the weekend now. Prices fell by roughly 9 cents overnight. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan Matteig says the cost of gas should drop another 4 cents tomorrow, bringing prices down to roughly $1.80 at most stations here in the region. As for the oil markets, they're still seeing some volatility. Let's go ahead and take a look at where our stock markets closed at the end of the week. The TSX was up 61 points. The Dow was up 294. The Nasdaq up 50. In commodities, oil was up, closing at $96.60 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,523 an ounce. And our dollar was down, ending the day at 72.42 cents U.S. Coming up, a Gold Glove winner steps up to the plate for the latest edition of Hometown Team. A one-on-one with Jays player Miles Straw. On the other side of the break, you're watching CTV News Barrie. Taking a look at our primetime lineup for tonight. At 8 o'clock, our CTV2 movie, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. At 10 o'clock, Criminal Minds and CTV News at 11. In the latest edition of CTV's Hometown Team series, Blue Jays outfielder Miles Straw, the Gold Glove winner, shares what he loves about Toronto and playing for the Jays.
Deep center, Straw's back, jumps, he's got it!
Born in California, moved when I was about 2, and then lived in Bradenton, Florida ever since. So 29 years of living in Florida. My dad got me going, my dad and my brothers. They both got me going at an early age. And then honestly, my mom had a big part as well. She used to get out and throw with me and do all the baseball stuff as well. I used to throw the ball pretty hard at her, and she would be in the backyard sitting on the bucket and catching some of these pitches and stuff. So, you know, she always brought me to all my practices and stuff and games. So it means the world to me. I just like to hang out with friends, go on my boat, go to the sandbar, food. Just a pretty relaxing guy. I like to just hang out with friends for the most part.
And he just pokes it into shallow right. It's going to drop. How about Miles Straw?
What do you love about Toronto?
I love the stadium, the food, the fans, the city alone, the weather. I like the seasons. Just how much everyone appreciates you and cares for you, as far as, like, you know, our trainers and, you know, the coaches, the front office, the team alone. It's just like a big family here, and you never know what you're going to run into, especially being a new guy last year. So I truly love the team, and it's fun to come here every day and to be with these guys, and I enjoy it really.
Now it's time to check in one last time with KC tonight. KC.
It's just cooling off down here at the Barrie Waterfront Festival on this evening. Come on down. What an evening. What a temperature Lake Simcoe is, I might add. Kind of cool? Well, kind of cool first thing tomorrow morning. Let's have a look. This is the Get Up and Go forecast, and have a look right now. First thing tomorrow morning, what are we looking at as far as temperatures go? Well, 11 degrees in Barrie, and it looks like a mix of sun and cloud. We're also seeing quite a bit of cloud cover in the Newmarket area, and 12 degrees. That's not that cool, really. At 7 o'clock in the morning, that's decent, isn't it? And 11 degrees in Gravenhurst, and nothing but sunshine. What a way to start the weekend, but here comes the rain later on in the day. The Waterfront Festival on all weekend. Jack, check it out.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Jack Morse. I'll be back at the 11. Thank you for watching. Good night.